Hi everyone, Jackson here. Welcome back to Daily Endeavours for the 2nd of July. Timestamps will be in the description if you just want to look at one of these options in particular and you just want to skip all the other stuff because you already know it. I've got a bone to pick with this set. I'm actually quite pissed off at this because this is quite possibly the first time I've been doing these endeavours that I've seen that it is not possible to do these unless you have DLC of some kind. There are only two options here that are not DLC dependent, and even then, one of these options is heavily dependent on DLC. Deconstructing at a jury table, you need Summerset for this. A Black Sacrament, you need Dark Brotherhood for this, and killing enemies with Scribed skills, you need Gold Road for this. There's no opportunity to do this other than if you have those DLC, or obviously if you've got ESO+. I don't think I've ever seen a single daily where this has been the case, where you can't get 3 out of 3 options if you only have base game. The other day with the day where it was like Void Creatures and like Infinite Archive was the only way to get them, and there was like a couple of other DLC only options there. But this is straight up, there's no way to do these 3 here. And I'm a bit worried, right? Because what does this say? Like, should I be expecting to say you need DLC for these options in the future? Because I don't want to fucking say that. I would love to be able to just say, people, you can do this even if you have base game just fine. Even if you don't, like, some of this shit is awful. Like, arenas take fucking ages. Yeah, alright. I'll just, yeah. I shouldn't rant too much. But just understand, if I continue to see this shit, I'm very much considering no longer doing these endeavor guides. Like, I don't want to play a game where the fucking mentality of these developers is, well, not the developers. They would never say anything about it. Like, the marketing division's like, hey, you don't have any DLC? Well, fucking middle finger, you fucking peasants. Fuck it, right? God, it fucking pisses me off. You don't see this very often, right? Most of the days there'll be no DLC, it's fine. But I don't like what this is representing. I do not like it at all. Because it's not the first time this has happened in the recent past. And I'm very much dreading if it happens again. Okay, so if I were to make a choice here, I would go Deconstructing, Repairing in Cyrodiil, and I would say a Black Sacrament. Though Scribe skills is also fine. Arena, the only base game option you've got for this is Dragonstar Arena, and let me tell you now, the world record for completing this is 31 minutes, okay? Consider a daily where a single option for 15 seals, you have to at least, by, like, at best possible scenario, be spending 31 minutes, okay? Fuck that. If you've only got base game, do not even look at this option. I would honestly just log off right now if I was base game. God, I gotta stop fucking... It's yeah, whatever. Okay, carrying keeps. Right now, with Vengeance Campaign, you get a magical repair kit here, the Cyrodiil Repair Kit of Vengeance, that you can use an infinite number of times. You don't need to buy them, doesn't cost you any gold. So right now, this is free and doesn't take long. The only issue with this is going to be finding a keep that needs to be repaired. Sometimes you can go to a keep and there'll be no walls at all that you can repair. So my advice here is just go to a keep that's like on the front line somewhere, because generally those are the ones that change hands at least the most, or at least recently. So in this case, I'll go to Blue Road right here. Let's have a quick look. Go outside. Now the first thing you're looking for, beautiful. So you've got these keep walls here, the crane tools here. This is an indicator that these things need to be repaired. So what you want to do is make sure you go into the quick stop bar here, go into your sortable items, Cyrodiil Repair Kit of Vengeance, just chuck this somewhere like a potion, and just select it as the active quick slot. And when your health bar the health bar at the top shows like a wall or a post-in platform, something like that, just have it there, and then just press the quick slot button when you've got your repair kit, and you just need to do that twice. It's very quick to do. So yeah, as you can see there, the actual repairing takes a couple of seconds. Most of the time you're going to be spending with this one is just finding a wall to repair. But once you find a keep that's usually like needs repair, it's like the amount that you need to do this is like a proverbial drop in a bucket of like repairable walls. So usually you don't have many options with this one. What I can suggest, if you go through on one faction and you just can't find shit, any character that you've got above level 10, just come into Cyrodiil and just check any possible keep that you can find on their faction too. Because you get an infinite source of those repair kits. You don't need to buy it. You don't even need to buy the Vengeance one. It just comes standard. Let's go on towards alchemy. Okay, so next up, we got deconstructing at a jewelry table. So, since Zenithar is still happening, I assume it's still happening, yeah. So, what I would suggest you do is two things. Either you go the quick route of just creation, go 8 rings here, craft those with pewter, and then deconstruct those. That's probably the quickest way you've got, but obviously you need a little bit of pewter. If you don't have anything at all, if you've got gold, one thing I can suggest is going to a guild store, buying a bunch of intricate jewelry, and deconstructing that, because right now, with the Zeal of Zenithar giving you twice the amount of inspiration, the intricate jewelry in this game is like much more valuable right now to deconstruct than it normally is. So that's what I would do if you can. If you don't have any money to buy that stuff, that's totally fine. What I would suggest you do is do 8 dolmens. I know it is a fair bit of work, but with these dolmens, you get a ring or a necklace from the chest at the end, and you might get a couple of rings, like jewelry pieces, as you do the actual dolmens themselves from dead bodies. That way, you'll eventually get enough to deconstruct at a jewelry station. You need 8, so each dolmen gives you at least 1. So by maximum, you'll need to do 8. But pewter ounce isn't very expensive. If I have a look at it, yeah, about 8 gold a piece. So it will not cost too much. It's like a couple of grand for a stack, and you do get a little bit of that stack back when you deconstruct. Not much. But yeah, you only need right now 16 because it's 8 times 2, so you don't need much pewter at all. So what I would do is just try and find, like, either do your dolmens or just try your best to find a couple of pewter ounce in the store. Just don't get the pewter dust, because that stuff's way more expensive. Alright, so now let me talk about defeating enemies with Scribe skills. So the main thing to remember with this one is that no matter how much damage you deal with other stuff to the target, the only thing that matters is the very last hit. Whatever takes anything from 1 to 0 HP is what counts for this endeavor. So if you were to use like completely like class and weapon skills to do all the damage, and then you have like one Scribe skill, and that is the thing that like kills enemies, that will count. Whereas other things can't. And that means that if you were to be in like a public dungeon with a bunch of other people, if their Scribe ability gets the kill, it doesn't count for you or any of the other people. So 1, you want to do this solo, and 2, you just basically want to fill your bar with just as many Scribe skills as possible, and just go and find a bunch of weak enemies with AoE down. So I'll just cover a couple of skills that I would suggest you use, just on personal preference. Alright, so the ones I use personally is Magical Burst. The things that are generally pretty easy to get your hands on is Magic Damage and Lingering Torment. You can also use Maim if you don't have any of the other affix scripts that you unlock through doing various just daily things. Yeah, don't worry too much about the affix. Maybe Breach if you can get it too. But yeah, just mainly as long as it deals damage and just have some sort of buff here. Lingering Torment or just maybe healing if you want that too, because if you're not, you don't get much healing with scribing. Like I like to rely on things like Sorcerer's Surge or Nightblade's siphoning attacks, or just spamming Vigor. Otherwise, yeah, you get fuck all healing usually. So just understand, if you put healing on the main part of it, you get no damage. So it's not very counterintuitive to do that. So yeah, Soul Burst, this is the main spammable AoE skill that I like to use. Now, getting access to a bunch of stuff. This is all the stuff related to the main quest line. You want to do the whole thing because you get Soul Burst, which is your AoE spammable. You get some good affixes from completing the Wing of the Dragon. You'll get access to these ones. This is where you get vulnerability for one of the other ones, which I'll show in a second. You also want, oh sorry, not Soul Trap. You want Wield Soul as well. And yeah, you get the Heals focus, the Sage Remedy focus, or signature as well, which is nice. So yeah, as you can see, I've got Magical Soul and I've got Magical Burst. So these are the two you get from the quest lines. Mage's Guild 5, you also get Magical Contingency, which I use. And then I also like to use Magical Trample, which you get from being level 5 in the Alliance or skill lines. There's one more I highly suggest, and that is... I've got to look through. So I've finally got around, bloody got my ass out of bed and fucking tried out multi-target, and I've got to say this thing is pretty damn good. The only annoying thing is getting this is a bit random. You basically just have to do a bunch of these daily delve, daily Mage's Guild, or PvP rewards. Personally, I think Mage's Guilds are pretty good. The only issue I have with the delve ones is waiting for the bosses to die takes waiting for the bosses to respawn. Sorry, that can be a pain in the ass. Whereas the Mage's Guild one, you're not usually waiting for stuff to respawn. It's just there, ready to go. It's like a chest inside. So yeah, I usually like to go to the Mage's Guild one. That being said, you can get a lot of rewards of the worthy from PvP, especially right now with Vengeance campaign. And you can just open up those over time, and that doesn't take anywhere near as long as just doing... Well, the actual PvP part takes longer, but opening the coffers takes very little time. So yeah, if you can get it, Traveling Knife with multi-target. Traveling Knife requires you to have level 25 in dual wield, and you need to have dual wield equipped, obviously. But Traveling Knife, I have found, it doesn't tell you the AoE, but it's pretty big. It seems to be about as big as something like Whirlwind. And the damage is pretty good. Like I kill the skeevers in Wayrest still is pretty damn quick with this thing. But just as a general, as long as you've got Soul Burst, Wield Soul, and like one of these ones here, or like something like Elemental Explosion, which is good. I just don't like the cast time for this one, personally. But the radius, the 10 meters is fucking huge. And you can also get Brittle with this, which is pretty damn good. Yeah, most of these things here, they can be good, but they just have cast times, and I don't really like things with cast times, because I find it's annoying to rotate with, as opposed to the ones that don't, which are just easier to use, I think. Alright, so my preferred location for this, as I said earlier, is Wayrest 1. The reason for this is, one, it's instant, so it means that whatever's going on the outside, if you're not in a group, nobody else can actually come in here and kill any of this stuff. So what it means is, no matter what's going on outside, no matter how busy it is in the overland, this area here is never, like, affected. So you can just come in here, all this stuff will be ready to go, you just kill it and you move on. It just means that you're just doing this more conveniently and just not wasting any time. Also, the skeevers here are super duper weak. You can kill them super quickly. Just make sure you got to heal, because like I find Scribed skills do not have much healing at all. So I like to use Surge and Vigor myself. Surge on a sorcerer, or if you got Nightblade, the Siphoning skill line with subclassing, it's easy to get this, I suppose. But Siphoning Strikes is good too, because it does the same thing as Surge. Basically, when you're dealing damage, you heal a bit. So those two together can be especially good for this. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I will group up all these skeevers in this room. There's 21 in total. Getting all of them at once is a bit weird. Sometimes you'll aggro a group, but one of them will like not come after you. It's kind of weird. So if I pull this group, there might be one that doesn't. Oh yeah, proc sets. Don't use proc sets. Alambris, for example, that just applied there. It's best if you avoid using that, because that doesn't count as a scribe skill. So yeah, as an example here, I'm just going to use Magical Burst a bunch of times. As you can see, just got a ton there. So that's 21 enemies. So that's the amount of skeevers in this room. So if you only get 20, just double check, make sure in all the corners of the room there's not one just sitting in the back. Because usually there's one over here, or one over here in the corner that just doesn't aggro with the rest of them for some reason. Now, the good thing here is you can go in here. There's crocodiles in these rivers, the sewer water, but they're super tanky, so I don't like bothering with them. There's a lot weaker enemies in these rooms here. So what I'll do is I'll pull this group, go into this part here, and I'll do the same thing. I'll just start throwing out my scribe skills. I like trample here. This is partly why I like trample, because you can get it to. I was about to say you can get it to travel long distances. But I just realised there's an invisible wall, invisible door in the way here, in wherever it's one. So yeah, if you just got one at a time, just using Magical Soul, your single target spamble. But if there's a group, just use I just use Magical Burst, and I also use Contingency together. I start the fight with trample like that. But as you can see by this door, sometimes trample bugs out. Because yeah, there's actually a door here that's like, it opens up for Way Resource 2, but it's still active here. So that's what's going on. Also, if you can, try not to light attack, because the light attacking doesn't count as a scribe skill, so it won't impact anything. Right, so what I'll do is I'll vigor, and then I'll trample, get everything in this line, which is great, and then I'll contingency and just magical burst. Just over and over until you get it done. Now, if that doesn't give you all 40 enemies, you can attack this guy, get him down to a certain amount of HP, and he'll spawn ghosts, and you can kill the ghosts really quick because they're quite weak. If not, what I would suggest you do is just leave the dungeon and just go to like overland somewhere or like in a public dungeon and just get the rest of the kills that way. Because by the time you kill all these enemies, as long as you're using a bunch of scribe skills, you'll probably have most of this done, and you can just kind of clean up the rest of the scraps just with a simple method. Now, if you want to get to Way Resource for the first time, what I would suggest you do is get to Way Rest itself. You want to do that by going to Home Tours, Browse Homes, and look for something called Gardener's House, this one here. So just travel to one of these, just go out the front door once you get in. It'll bring you here. You just go down south a little bit, over here, yeah, down this way here, and there'll be like a way into the water, and then you can just travel to Way Resource there. As soon as you unlock it for the first time, from that point you can travel in here from any way shrine too, so it's very convenient to get in here. Also, even better, once you're done, if you just leave out the door you came in from, you will get taken to wherever you traveled in from. So if you came in here via way shrine, it'll take you back to that way shrine. So the next thing you want to do, it just makes it quicker to do that when you get to it. So let's go out here, and we'll get taken straight to Oridon. See? Quite convenient that as well. Okay, so next up we've got a Black Sacrament. So this requires you to have the Dark Brotherhood DLC in order to do it. You need to complete part of the zone story questline for Gold Coast. So you can find that through this section here. You need to complete up to a Lesson in Silence. It takes a little bit of time doing this if you haven't done it already. You'll also quite likely get a bounty from doing this, so worth keeping that in mind. You'll also obviously get a bounty from doing the actual Black Sacrament if you mess it up. But aside from a bounty, there is no real way to completely fuck up or fail a Black Sacrament unless you just leave after... unless you yourself run out of time, like you have to go to bed or go to work or some shit. So you can basically just have no, you can fuck up every stealth option, everything, every bonus objective, and just still do it. And it'll only take a few minutes usually. So what I suggest is you get a quick build, something that runs fast, just to make this quicker, but it doesn't really matter too much. The enemies here are pretty weak as well, so it's not much to worry about. So do you have anything for me today? You just come to this guy here, and once you accept... Oh, sorry, I'll just explain how to get in here first. So, you find Speaker Tyrannus right here. It's just a little bit of a trek out from the door when you come in. And yeah, you just talk to him, he'll give you the quest, and eventually you'll see this thing here. Such and such will die. As soon as you see that, it'll port you into the instance area that is the Black Sacrament, and there'll be a closed door. Once you open the door, the Black Sacrament begins. So, as I said, you don't have to complete any of the secondary objectives. The only thing that matters is actually killing the target. So that's all you got to do for these Black Sacraments. There's just one enemy that you have to kill. There's bonus objectives, you get a secondary target and all sorts of stuff, but the only thing that actually matters properly is the target. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go straight in and just kill this guy as quick as possible. So there he is, kill him, and then we leave. Now you don't have to kill him with the Blade of Woe, or you don't have to kill him with the insta-kill stuff, like the Vampirism. You can just go up to him and just attack him naturally. You just got to make sure in settings gameplay you've got prevent attacking innocents set to off. Otherwise you won't be able to attack him. The only issue with that is if you do it that way, you will get a much higher bounty than you would if you get spotted killing him, usually. As far as I'm aware, anyway. I think that low bounty was just from being spotted. Yeah, as you can see, you can do it super quick. You just have to look for that the Black Sacrament icon above their head. Just consider that sometimes the actual the secondary target will also have that icon above their head, but just make sure you have that. And yeah, you can do all the secondary objectives. It's fun if you want to do that. I just don't. Yeah, I just don't care. So you just hand that in. You get some Sith's Touch equipment. There's a chance you can get a Dark Brotherhood motif from this. The chances are increased if you get the higher tier rewards from doing the all the secondary objectives. Now, it is worth it trying to do the secondary objectives. But I personally think only until Dark Brotherhood 7, because you get XP for completing the Dark Brotherhood stuff, like the Black Sacraments, and you get more XP depending on how well you do. So if you complete all the secondary objectives, you get, I think, 30 in total. If you just complete it, I think you get like 10 or 15. Now, why do I say up to level 7? The reason I say that is because you get Shadow Rider. Biased here, obviously, but this, I personally believe, is like the only thing worth it in this entire DLC, to be honest. Shadow Rider is honestly fucking great. Being able to not get spotted while you're on your mount, while you're like speeding past like enemies, especially when you're trying to farm resources or just try and, for example, get your endeavors done. It just means less enemies coming after you, and especially like, you know, I'm sure everyone's had a time where you're going past a bunch of enemies to get to a way shrine, and because they aggro, when you get to the way shrine to travel away, it doesn't let you. You have to escape combat. If you use something like Shadow Rider to escape them without getting spotted, it just means that you spend less time when you actually get to the way shrine, and you can just travel out whenever you're ready. Stuff like that. It's just really handy in those cases. Alright, so talking about the last option, we've got an arena. Now, I did say with Dragonstar Arena, by the way, I said 31 minutes is the world record. That's a veteran, so, you know, cut a little bit of slack there. But I would say you spend just like 10 or 15 minutes alone listening to the fucking dude ramble on. And that's the only base game option. So there's 4 arenas in total that you have access to. So I'll go through them. So Dragonstar Arena is one. This is the only base game option, as I said, found in Craglawn at the northwest side. This is designed for 4 people. You can complete it solo, I believe, but everything is designed to be done with 4 people, so just keep that in mind. I think there's like one fight, like the last few stages, they can be very like weird to try and do on your own, but I'm pretty sure they can be done solo. It's just very, very weird and complicated. There's also, for the other group one, the one I don't suggest doing is Black Rose Prison. This is also designed for 4 people, but it's much newer and doesn't have as much of an issue with power creep as Dragonstar does. So it's a lot tougher. And then there are 2 solo arenas. These are the ones I suggest doing. I personally think Maelstrom Arena is the best one to do. It will still take like 20 minutes. That's the thing. That's why I never bother doing the arena ones when I can choose. Even if this is like one of the only options I have available, I would personally skip this one. But yeah, Maelstrom Arena there. Maelstrom Arena has probably some of the best one-piece weapons in the game. You got like things like Maelstrom Staff, Maelstrom Bow, Two-Hander. They're all really good. And then you've also got, in the Reach, you've also got Vadashran Hollows, which is another solo option. But so this is mostly fine, but the final boss has an insta-kill mechanic. Just one. And if you're ranged, it's fine. But if you're not too familiar with like fighting on your own and you're melee, the hitbox for the actual fight is kind of brutal. And it's an insta-kill. Even on normal, it instantly kills you. And what happens is, if you die to that at all on the final boss, you completely reset the fight. And it can take quite some time. So that alone, like, compared to Maelstrom is slower, but only if you can kill the final boss in Vadashran in one go. If you fail it once, I think that Maelstrom is probably quicker. Now, what I'm not going to do is actually show you how to do one of these yet. What I'm going to do is upload this video, otherwise this video is going to be fucking way long, and again, I'm going to bloody end up getting this uploaded at like 10. So I don't want to do that. What I'm going to do instead is upload this video, and as soon as that's done, I'm just going to do a Maelstrom Arena run as well, just to show you what that would be like. But again, I don't recommend it just because it takes so fucking long. For 15 seals, man, spending all that time just to get one done is just not worth it. I personally just log off and wait for the next set. Because, yeah, hopefully they will fucking have less shit that requires DLC for those who don't have any, you know. Alright, so that's all. Thanks everyone for watching. If you have any questions, as always, just let me know. But yeah, I'll get this, I'll get the recording done, the editing done, and then as soon as that video is uploaded, like uploading, I will immediately start with the Maelstrom one. Alright, take care for now, everyone. We'll see you next time.